Today we are going to practice your box plots. So let's go to number 1. Number 1 says to represent each set of data in a box plot. So number 1 is talking about ages of children taking a dance class. So in order to find the median, we need to order from least to greatest. And I'm confident that you can find your median, Q1 and Q3 and IQR on your own. So go ahead and press pause. And I need everybody to order these numbers and then find your median, Q1, Q3, and IQR. Okay, so I ordered from least to greatest and double checked that I had all 10 values. And then when I went front, back, I got 10, both of these 10s right here as my median. So I split them in half, or 10 plus 10 divided by 2 is 10. And then for Q1, since this 10 right here is not your median, then you have to use it for your Q1. So then front, back, and got 9 as my Q1. And then this 10 is not your median, so you had to use it for your Q3. Front, back, and 14 is your Q3. And then remember your IQR is 14 minus 9, which is 5. Okay, so outliers. Outliers, we have to find our star number. So star number is your IQR, which is 5, times 1.5. So let's put 1.5 on the top. Okay, so one number to the right of the decimal, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. We bring our decimal straight in, and we get 7.5. Okay, now to find low extreme and high extreme, we have to know if there are outliers, because low extreme is smallest number in the data and high extreme is highest number in the data that is not an outlier. So we got to make sure 7 and 16 aren't outliers. So in order to do that, I need to find my lower limit. Remember, lower limit is your... So this is Q1 minus your star number. So Q1 is 9, so we're going to go 9 minus 7.5. We can add our decimal 0 here. We have to borrow, so 10 minus 5 is 5, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So our lower limit is 1.5. So now we have to find our upper limit. Our upper limit is Q3 plus your star number. Q3 plus your star number. So Q3 is 14 plus 7.5. Okay, so 0 plus 5 is 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 2. So upper limit is 21.5. So then we look at our values in our data, and is there any children who are less than a year and a half? The answer is no. The youngest child is 7. And is there any children older than 21 and a half? And the answer is no. The oldest child is 16. So outliers, none. Now that we know that there are no outliers, we can write our lower and high extreme. So our low extreme is the lowest number in our data that's not an outlier. There are no outliers, therefore our lowest number in our data, which is 7, is our low extreme. In our high extreme, there are no outliers on the high end, so our high extreme is the highest number in the data, which is 16. Okay, so you have number 2 is, box plot. We got to draw a box plot. So looking at our data range values, it goes from 7 to 16. So I have to form a number line that will go from 7 to 16. So I say maybe do by 2s to 20. So we can even start at, let's see if I can get enough numbers in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That was kind of far. 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, perfect. So remember, where's my highlighter? The median, oh, that's not a highlighter. 1 second. Okay, the median Q1, Q3, and low extreme, high extreme are what we use for our dots on the number line. So our median number was 10. So I'm going to place a dot above 10. Remember to place it high so that your box doesn't touch the number line. 9 is our Q1, so it's going to be right next to it. 14 is Q3. Low extreme is 7. And high extreme is 16. Okay, so remember we connect our two lines on the ends. We connect our two dots with a line on the ends. Okay. And then we draw a vertical line on the 3 middle dots. Vertical line on the 3 middle dots. And then we connect our vertical lines on the top and bottom. Okay. And this is low extreme. Let's label it. This is Q1. This line is median. This is Q3, and this is upper extreme. Okay, you also need to label your box plot graph, and this is talking about ages of children taking dance class. So let's label it ages of children. All right, so now you need to complete number 2 and use number 1 as a reference. And then we have the back. So turn over to the back. It says, use the box plot that shows the ages of the U.S. Vice President when they took office to answer the following questions. So what is the low extreme? You can answer this one on your own. But we can talk about what it means to be the low extreme. We just talked about it a second ago. Or on number 1. What does it mean? Yeah, it means it's the, when we'll use it in terms of ages, it is the youngest age that is not an outlier. So I guess we'll go ahead and answer number 1. Number 3. What is the low extreme here? What is the youngest age according to this box plot of the U.S. Vice President? Yeah, this is the low extreme. So the answer is 35. Okay, and you could do number 4, median. Number 5, you can do number 4, which is the Q1. Number 5 is your median. So find your median. Good. It's right halfway between 50 and 55, which is 52.5. What does it mean to be median? We should know this by now. What does it mean to be median? It means half is more and half is less. So if we're talking about ages of vice presidents, half of them were older than 52 and a half and half were younger than 52 and a half. So half were older than 52 and a half and half were younger. That's the whole half is more and half is less. Okay, you can find the value of Q3 and use the words that we used for the low extreme to help you answer number 7 with the high extreme, okay? And then let's go to number 8. Number 8 says, to describe the distribution of the data, what can you say about the ages of the U.S. president? So the distribution is like the spread. What can we say about the distribution of the ages? So we would use our low extreme and high extreme on this. So we could say there was no less than, or so nobody was younger than, what would we say? Nobody is younger than, good, 35. And no older than this. Some of us may have gotten a few different answers on here. I'm going to say that is about 71. But whatever you got for your high extreme. Okay. The box right here is kind of to the left, which means you may have more people. You might have had just like an older person that kind of skewed the data to make this part longer, and maybe had a few more younger people than 52 and a half, which is why that's that way. So what percent of the U.S. vice president were at least 60 years old when they took office? So for this case, we would want to find 60 years old, which is right here. So that means at least is 60 or more. So that's the data this way. So that's the line on our box plot. What percent is that? Do we remember? We should have our notes out in front of us. What percent is just one of the lines on our box plot? It is 25% because it represents 1/4 of our data. I want you to try number 10 on your own. What percent of U.S. vice presidents were between the ages of 49 and 60 when they took office? 49 and 60. $49 and $60 is from here to here, right? So it's the entire box. 49 through 60 is the entire box. What percent is that? If each part is 25%, so the first line is 25%, the first part of the box is 25%, the other part is 25%, and the last line is 25%. That means the entire box represents 50% of the data. It represents the entire box. Okay. Number 11. You can answer or try on your own. Don't forget to take a picture of this and submit.